Okay, this is kind of maybe it is weird to some people, but something I really don't get is, in our rules that make us, a better person, for so we can feel like we're virtuous and we're gonna, meet the pearly gates and we're gonna walk through heaven's gate into heaven because we just followed the rules so carefully. You know, whose rules are we following? Because I think we're following the rules for the other guy, if you're gonna get honest. And but the thing is that one of the things that I find is so bizarre is underwear. I really think it's weird. I think it's a weird concept to tell people, like, you're so dirty, you need something in between you and your clothes, and we'll sell it to you. We'll make it for you. But you really should wear something between you and your clothes just to keep the what? Like, why? Really? I don't know. I think I'm way more of a tribes person. A loincloth is fine for me. Up again. Yeah, I don't really get this. Like, you need to wear underwear. You need to wear this. You need to wear this. All of, like, just the same thing as, like, okay, we've got the food pyramid. We've got, like, the times we need to eat, the clothes we need to wear. It's like, it's so crazy. And then when you think about, like, there are girls out there who are spending $100 on one ensemble of undergarments. And it's so crazy. Nobody's going to see them. Like, are you going to go out? Are you going to take your clothes off and show your cute underwear? No. You got one person who's going to see your underwear, and they're going to see it for like 2 seconds. Like, that underwear is not going to be on you for very long. It's going to be on the ground real quick. So what is this point of spending so much money on it, Especially when you know that as the billionaires and stuff are the ones supplying it. I mean, and the stuff they do with the money is really, really bad. They're horrible, horrible people, and yet we support them. Like, they say, hey, you need this fancy underwear, and we're like, well, hell yeah, we do. How am I going to go to heaven if I don't have good underwear on? So let's run down and let's buy this cute underwear. We'll be broke as shit. We may not have food for dinner next weekend, but got some cute ass underwear. And it doesn't make any sense to me. And it's so funny because I put on this dress, and I was going to the dentist and I was thinking, ooh, I'm going to be a real rebel. I'm not going to wear any underwear to the dentist. And it's so funny because there's people who would think like, oh my God, that is shameful. You went out in public and you didn't wear underwear. That's so tacky. It's like, why? I got clothes over my personal parts. How many stacks of clothes do I need to put over them? Do I need to, like, do they want us to have complete shame of our bodies? And especially as an artist, I love the human form. It's beautiful in all the different shapes and sizes. It's a fascinating thing. It's beautiful in all different ways. And yeah, but they want us to just constantly cover them up and stack up the glow because they'll sell us some cute stuff. I mean, even that has come out now with their it's called something. I think I talked about this a long time ago, early on. These stores that sell clothes real quick. It's called something. I don't know. Discount, throwaway, fashion. I don't know. But it is the problem is with it is because they constantly want to change the trend. They want us to follow the trend. Buy this. Oh, you look that. And then plus, if you don't, it used to be. I think it's a lot better now. But it used to be if you didn't wear the clothes, like say for instance the little alligator polo shirts, like I think those were early 80s maybe. I don't remember, maybe they were in the 90s. I don't know. I mean, you just lose track of all time when you have 60 years behind you. So these if you didn't wear them, then you weren't cool. Members jackets, like they used to do so much of that, like to I don't know, segregate the cool people from the people who had no style. I don't know what their point was, but it was basically just to get us to buy, 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 buy. And so they needed to, because we were just like hook, line, and sinker. Oh, hell yeah, I want to be cool. Got underwear to go with it. So, we're just like, it's so funny because I think so many people feel like a victim of the cabal or something. But no, you guys, read the gaslighting book. You will find out. Well, I don't know. There's probably a lot of them. The one I read, it really made me see my own part. You can't be gaslighted if you aren't participating. So we participated in this. We are part of this. This didn't just happen to us as a collective. This was an experience of humanity. It was evolution. And so, anyways, I think it's I got to catch my thought what I was talking about. That drives me so crazy. It's like Swiss cheese or something in my head. Okay. Oh, the clothes. Okay. So then it became where they needed to, make more and more and more and more and do it faster, 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 faster. So it started being like, every season, we got to have completely different style of shorts than we had last season. Every season, we got to change the jeans entirely. We got to make them go higher, make them go lower, make the legs bigger, make them smaller, just keep go, go, go. And they just, they've got to keep changing it because so many people will run in and buy it so that they can be the cool kid. And it's still going on. So what they started doing was, like sweatshops and stuff. When they took all of the stuff from America, when they said, hey, we're going to do y'all a favor. We're going to start having everything made in China. Y'all just sit back. It's going to be cheaper. Find your own jobs. We don't know what to tell you. But I'll guarantee if you find a job and you start being successful, we're going to come in and take it away from you. So, however it works out for you, you do you. And so then they moved them over there and they started having slaves do everything. In that show Evil yesterday, it's on, the new one's on Sundays. I really love that show. I also love that show Supernatural. And so this show kind of reminds me of Supernatural, but it's, it's not the brothers going out to kill the creatures, the hunters. Instead, these are, they're kind of like hunters, but they're going out to try and do exorcisms on people, to go for the church to see who needs one and who doesn't. So they have to do investigations into the things. And there's supernatural stuff going on all the time. But they, why did I go into that? Anyways, so let's just go back to the clothes thing. So, because he said in his thing about slaves, and I felt like it was insinuating that, like he was saying, all the earth's problems started when they enslaved black people, because he was black, and they make a big thing about it, that he's black priest and blah, blah, blah. So, you can't have a show where they're not going to have some sort of programming, indoctrination kind of stuff in it. I mean, it's in everything. So, but the part that's true is, because humans have always been their slaves, and we have been enslaved by them, but by our own ignorance too, because we haven't asked enough questions. So then the people who were making all of our clothes suddenly, they're slaves. Like horrible stories, I mean, kids. They had a whole thing where they had little kids in there, and women that you can't even leave your station. You can't. You are there all day. I don't even know. I think a 20-hour a day is nothing for them. And then you get a couple hours of sleep. I think some of them, they even had to sleep at the places. The buildings were so dilapidated. There was buildings that fell and crushed people. I mean, this was the worst working conditions known to man, and they weren't paying these people, like a penny a day, and then selling us this stuff for $30, and it falls apart in one day. And but they did us such a good favor, and they did so much for humanity, for enslaving these people so we could be in style. And so all that stuff has come out, and not only just those kinds of things, but also how much, while they're telling us that we can't use certain products, that it's destroying the planet, and then they're using it in huge consumption. Like, I didn't even realize, like, motor oil goes into making clothes. Like, weird shit goes into making clothes. I don't even know all this stuff. I can't remember, but while I was watching this show, I was like, I didn't know that was in clothes. Jesus Christ, no wonder sometimes our clothes are itchy. No wonder sometimes our clothes irritate our skin. And plus, when they do it over there, they can get by with so much stuff. That's why you're not supposed to even buy Chinese food. Like, if you go to a store and it's made in China, the food, because they don't have the same rules, and they do gross stuff. Like, I've heard really gross stuff about the shrimp. Like, shrimp was cheaper if you buy it from them, but they do it in like farms, and it's like gross ass stuff that's in it. So the shrimp are not healthy. They're feeding. Remember, they're the ones who had the nuclear stuff filling their water, and it's been tested and it's been found over here. Like, it's moved all the way over, but like all their fish it's nuclear waste, down there. So yeah, the planet's got a lot of cleaning. I think it makes sense to me that the planet has to catapult itself out of this solar system into another one, because I mean, it's got to move fast to get all this gross stuff off of it. Redo itself, because yeah, it's disgusting. But the people, like, the stuff that we have learned, the stuff that we have seen, that is what is going to help us be able to create a better place for us all, and to keep us all in mind, to know, like, oh, well, so I might save, $5 if it's not made in USA, but this person over here is going to be enslaved and beaten, little kids beaten to work and stuff like that. Like, yeah, even though it was lies, it was, they weren't telling us that part. It had to be investigated. We had to find out what was going on. I mean, that was the outrage when fur coats were a thing. Everybody, and this was back when I experienced this part. Everybody had fur coats, I was like glamorous and movie stars. And so I'll tell you what, the influence of, they definitely saw the influence back in the 30s and 40s, what they could do with using actors and actresses to, control us, but by them telling us like what they would do or how they would do it and stuff like that. And then once they, have a loss of integrity and will sell that opinion, then, but it was very, very, back in the 40s and 50s and 60s, I mean, people wanted to be like movie stars. And fur coats became a big thing. If you had sorry, that thing just, I knocked it. If you had a fur coat, you were glamorous and stuff. And my parents were well off. And my mom had a fur coat. She still has it. I don't remember what it is. It's white. It seems like it was mink, but I think mink is dark. I don't know. Anyways, then it started coming out, the horrible abuse that these animals were suffering, so people could look fancy, And, if you go all the way back and you think about, I mean, people a long time ago, they would kill animals, they would eat them, and they would use their fur to keep them warm. Like there was a purpose. You used all of the different stuff from the animal, and you had to have furs to keep yourself warm. I mean, like how else are you going to build a coat? They didn't have sweatshops back then, so they used animal furs and stuff like that. So that is a part of nature, a part of how, life was for human beings. And it is still, I believe, it is still, all those things are there for us, but we also have to have gratitude, and we have to have that respect of knowing something gave up its life so that we could have whatever it is that we need, like, the circle of life. And, some things are there for us to have other things, Like I think fish are there for us to have food, my personal opinion. And anyways, so the people then, how it, the part where the corporate stuff has dirtied it and made it was, then they start these like farms or whatever and just start treating animals bad, and these slaughters and all this horrible stuff that they do, where this animal has no life, really, just a slave, just like all of us, and then goes to slaughter just like what they do to all of us. And it became a part of the people's life until the people all of a sudden found out what they were doing, and then were outraged, and people went to extremes. Like people would go up and throw red paint on women if they saw them out in fur coats. It became like a big thing, and fur coats were expensive, and people's coats were getting blood splattered on them. People were outraged, and that's the kind of stuff that we've gone through. The things they have done, we have been exposed to the truth over and over and over. But it is not to beat us down, is because now we're going to have the opportunity to know. We've felt the pain from these different experiences that they've shown us. We don't want to create that. We don't want to have anything like that. We want to, form a society that takes responsibility for itself, takes responsibility for how it treats others, takes responsibility for its place on the earth and stuff like that. We want to be people who take responsibility for ourselves in every way, That is what we will make a more beautiful place for us all to exist. And, not being a victim, not blaming others, just looking at self. And, we've got all sorts of, we've got all these new modalities that'll be for healing and stuff. With the quantum system, everything will change for humanity's life. But we also have the big thing in front of us is redesigning our whole culture as human beings, not just, there's going to be so many different ones too. Yesterday I was watching another movie too. I watched 2 movies yesterday, the ghost one and this other one. I'm going to tell about it real quick. Just a sec. I'll be right back.